It wasn't long ago I realized that one of my best friends actually have a fake girlfriend. So what he did is he paid, a monthly payment to this girl that he met on the internet. And then this girl will go home with him for an X amount of dollars for, it's basically an hour wage sort of thing, but they got paid way higher than hourly wages. Now that got me thinking, we have news and fake news. We have girlfriends and fake girlfriends. I mean, again, like this whole girlfriend thing, I do think it's better than working for Starbucks. But anyways, this video we're gonna talk about this thing called fake rebound. So what is a fake rebound? You're about to find out. Hey guys, so I know everybody's very excited. So today SPY increased by about 1.1%. And at one point today that it increased about, about 2.18 to 2.2%. And the future of SPY and Nasdaq future also increased around 1.8% at one point. But that increase did not stabilize, because we still have a debt ceiling standoff, quote unquote. Do you really believe it's a standoff, or just because Congress being stupid and then Republicans and Democrats cannot reach an agreement? Both of them have a very interesting political agenda for the next election year. Yeah, that might be it, right? But guys, we're about 3 years away from getting elected, another president, so can we just sit down and talk about this, mom and dad? But again, like why, right? Like what really triggers the 2% increase drop to 1% increase, right? A is because the market realized that, hey, we don't really have that much liquidity anymore, right? Because, okay, the whole Asian population isn't trading because, 1.3 billion people in China, about 10% trades, and then that 10% is just enjoying their holidays right now. And if you look at, the entire debt ceiling thing, hey guys, Norway is increasing their interest rate. The UK seems very eager to do that. The US is a little bit hawkish about tapering. So if taper comes, that means there's going to be less money in the market in general. So that's like the equivalent of kind of increasing the interest rate, but not really, because when you increase the interest rate, it actually attracts other capital from outside of US market to invest inside of US market. But right now, we're just tapering. So it's like a domestic situation. And then when taper happens, it's going to tighten up the labor supply a little bit. And then it's gonna exaggerate the amount of labor demand, because more and more people realize, oh my god, unemployment benefits gonna end, and it's not gonna extend all the way until December. And then what's gonna happen after that is, I need a job. And then when a lot of people realize they're gonna need a job, bam, the labor market's gonna hit, and then nobody's gonna find a job anymore. I mean, right now, it's really hard to find a job too, except for unskilled workers, right? If you go on Google, I don't know, there's a Google Jobs or whatever, or on Indeed.com, you'll realize that, you have this very interesting dynamic right now. Where's my pen? So when you look at the actual labor force, when you are looking at unskilled labor, including, serving coffee in Starbucks, flipping hamburgers, they will give you a premium for entering the job, right? Like in California, your minimum wage is $15, which I think is ridiculous, but also kind of good in a sense. They will give you like a bonus up to like $22 to sometimes like $28 per hour, depending on where you work. But the fantastic thing about this is, if you look at skilled workers, the labor demand for skilled workers and the labor supply for skilled workers is the demand actually increased, but the supply actually decreased. Why? Because the big companies literally just don't really have a lot of money to hire, and then they have to deal with uncertainty in the market with this stuff, right? So as I talked about before, right? So the SPY true support line is around, what is this line? 425. Right? The true support line is at 425. We want to get to 430, which we already get to today, like around here. But the real resistance is at 436, which technically speaking is 437, which is right here. In order to reach this point, the Congress needs to kind of have a agreement between the Republican and Democrat. Either the Democrat is gonna do the whole debt ceiling thing alone, or the Republican and Democrat are doing it together. And then the Democrat doesn't want to do it alone because that will probably look very bad in 3 years. The Republicans are like, oh, I want a clean slate in the next election because blah 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 blah. And then mom and dad are just fighting. And when mom and dad are fighting, other people like, the Australian investors, the UK investors, the Asian investors, they go back and look at, this current situation. Oh my God, US is very unstable right now. So in the next 2 or 3 weeks, I would imagine the Congress is probably going to drag this issue out and issue a bunch of, press releases, press conferences, just like what politicians do all day. Just sit in a room and just do their press releases and trying to look super nice and trying to tell you there is a problem somewhere, but in reality, there's not even really a problem. And they're just gonna be like, oh my God, everything's it's the Armageddon again, it's the judgment day. And then what's gonna trigger? It's gonna trigger further volatility in the market, and it might even drop under the support line, which we had as 425. But if it drops under 425, then we're facing another dilemma here. Why? Because when it drops under 425, if you go back and look at the option chain, you realize that in the yearly option projection, a lot of people believe that SPY should be over $425. And then when it breaks under 425, we might actually see a short squeeze that's contrary to market beliefs. I do believe that when it goes under 425, it's going to trigger a short-term short squeeze. And then when short squeeze happens, a lot of people who are longing the SPY were trying to force the SPY to go back to 430 again. But then that's where another bull trap is going to happen. So the main point of this essay or this video is, when you see a candle chart like this, that means, okay, if tomorrow we actually stabilize this around 435, then hey, we might see another bull run. But this might actually be a bull trap here because the market condition is still very uncertain. If you go back and look at the VIX, where's my precious VIX? I actually bought back some VIX this afternoon, bought back some VIX calls this afternoon because I'm afraid that today's rebound might be fake. If today's rebound might be fake, then all of today's gain will be evaporated by tomorrow morning, actually. And the market will probably still gonna trade flat around 428 if the rebound is fake. But if the rebound is real, then we probably will hit 435. How do we know that? We do not know that yet. But if you guys are interested, by about midnight tonight on EST or midnight tonight on PST, you can go check the Nasdaq futures and SPY futures. If SPY futures continue to run over 0.5% overnight, then that means in the morning we might see a bigger green day tomorrow. But if SPY future is trading flat, that means the uncertainty is really weighing on the market. And we got to look at the press conference tomorrow morning around 9 o'clock EST. If there's not many good news coming out, then we'll see a very flat day. So the SPY are probably going to trade at 430. So right now, if we do a probability distribution on SPY, my understanding is we have a bigger chance of trading at 430, a 50% trading at 430, and then we have a 10% chance of trading back down to about 423-ish, and then we have another 40% chance of trading over 435 actually. And for those of you who are who are trading SPY, futures, then you want to know one tick is about $100 for you guys, or maybe more than that. So, use this information at your own risk, okay? And then for those of you who are just holding long, and you've been following our Patreon, you're following our channel, all our long-term positions are still in the green right now. Especially, for FedEx that we entered last Friday, for UPS we entered last Friday, for GME we entered today. And if you want more of those, timely updates, you can subscribe to our Patreon. We post our trade and hopefully in real time. For the past week, I've been slacking a little bit because I went to the doctors, for those of you who don't know. And also we have long-term positions in Fisker and some lithium stocks, which are doing pretty okay. And we're adding some more inflationary protection stock over the next week. So you guys should keep in tune for that. And for those of you who are trading small stocks, small caps like MMAT, AMC, or GME, you guys should just hug around a bunch of all these important strike price like 170 for GME, and you should hug the 36 for AMC, and you should hug the about 5.21 for MMAT. Well, technically it's 5.11, but you cannot really trade 5.21 or 5.11 an option, so hug the $5 call options if you really want to do so. Alright, see you guys on the upside. Hopefully this video is helpful.